Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet and you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We have lots of great content on the channel, lots of great content, some big interviews coming up on the way on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And for everyone that has hit that subscribe button and is a subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And right now, it is time for me to shout out one of our subscribers. So I like to shout out Danny Dawson. Danny Dawson, thank you so much for subscribing to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Danny Dawson, you're awesome, man. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. Okay, let's get into it. Lio Rush. Lio Rush has officially signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Fightful.com reporting, according to Dave Meltzer of The Wrestling Observer and Mike Johnson at PW Insider, Lio Rush has signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Rush, as we know, was the surprise entrant in the Casino Battle Royal at AEW Double or Nothing. And Tony Khan said after the show that he had a handshake deal with Rush, and Rush can possibly continue to work with AEW. He has made appearances in addition to AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. He's made his appearances. He has made appearances for MLW as well. He's a former MLW middleweight champion, had a tremendous match, two tremendous matches with Myron Reed, and former MLW middleweight champion. I don't know if he's going to be going back to MLW. I'm not sure. But it says here, New Japan Pro Wrestling has reportedly given its blessing to allow Lio to continue to work for MLW and AEW. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if he continues working with MLW. If we see him more in AEW, I'm sure we're going to see plenty more of him on New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. And once this pandemic ends, Lio Rush needs to get on over to Japan because there's a lot of talent out there that I think he would have tremendous matches with. I'm talking about Sho, Yo, El Desperado. When Hiromu Takahashi comes back from his injury, you have Taji Ishimori. You have so many talented wrestlers out there that I think Lio Rush would have a tremendous match with. The sky's the limit in my opinion for Lio Rush and New Japan Pro Wrestling. And the best of the Super Juniors, when they do that, Lio Rush better be in that tournament. He better be in that tournament because he deserves to be in that tournament. So that's big news. Big news for New Japan Pro Wrestling for signing Lio Rush to a contract. It doesn't specify how long the contract is for, but it says he competed in New Japan Pro Wrestling Super J Cup. He did lose to El Phantasmo in the first round. I don't think he was signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling then, but as per Dave Meltzer, he now is under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So once again, when this pandemic is over, because right now Japan, they have a state of emergency with the COVID, and I know New Japan Pro Wrestling. Unfortunately, they're canceling some shows, and they just canceled a recent show. I think they canceled the June 4th show, but hopefully the pandemic will end. I know it's coming to an end we got the vaccines and everything. So once everything gets back to normal, Lio Rush needs to get on over to Japan and compete there. There's some young lions out there that he can have a great match with as well. I'm talking about Yuya Omura and Yota Shuji would be great opponents for Lio Rush. But got to get him out there. Got to get Lio Rush to New Japan. Got to get him out to Japan. Get him in that junior heavyweight division. Put the IWGP junior heavyweight title around the waist of Lio Rush. He's more than deserving, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited about the prospect of Lio Rush heading to Japan. And I'm just thinking of Lio Rush against El Desperado would be absolutely incredible. absolutely incredible. El Desperado is the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Lio Rush getting a shot at El Desperado would be incredible. You have Show out there as well, who is just an outstanding junior heavyweight. I would love to see Lio Rush one-on-one with Show. There's so many options, so many great opponents for Lio Rush, and he would hold his own against anybody out there. And got to get him out there. Got to get him out to Japan. Got to get Lio Rush to Japan once this pandemic can't end soon enough, and we got to get Lio Rush over to Japan to compete against these awesome junior heavyweights. And right now, he's in New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. We see him. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong airs every Friday in New Japan Pro Wrestling World, and we see Lio Rush on that show, and he's. I don't need to explain just how talented Lio Rush is. He's mega talented. And New Japan Pro Wrestling has given his blessing. We could see Lio Rush on AEW, so we might see him back on AEW Dynamite. Wouldn't be surprised if we'll see him back. Again, I don't know. I know right now MLW is having their draft where they're drafting their new roster. So I don't know if Lio Rush is going to be drafted onto that roster. We'll see if he's drafted onto the roster. That's great. But regardless, New Japan Pro Wrestling has given its blessing for Lio Rush to work for either MLW or AEW, but not the WWE. They're not the WWE. The WWE, there is no partnership there. So sorry, WWE. Sorry, WWE. But I think Lio Rush wants to stay away from zombies. You know, he wants to be in a real company where there are real wrestling matches and there aren't zombies chasing him. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock the W. Yeah, I did mean it. But yeah, got to get Lio Rush out to Japan ASAP, in my opinion. Okay, Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae, formerly of Impact Wrestling. Well, I don't want to say formerly of Impact Wrestling because a report back in March of 2021, just 2 months ago, indicated that Kylie Rae is still under contract with Impact Wrestling, but she's returning this weekend on the NWA pay-per-view. So Kylie Rae, When Our Shadows Fall pay-per-view for NWA, it says here SC Scoops. Kylie Rae will make her NWA debut this weekend on the When Our Shadows Fall pay-per-view. It will be Rae's first professional wrestling match since taking part in Impact Wrestling tapings last October. Kylie Rae is going to team with former Knockouts champion Taryn Terrell to take on Thunder Rosa and Melina. That should be just a terrific match. And the match will also be Terrell's first match since 2017. She returned to wrestling on the March 21st NWA pay-per-view. We're supposed to get Kylie Rae versus Thunder Rosa at the Warrior Wrestling Show on June 5th, but the match was rescheduled for August, I guess due to COVID, the COVID restrictions. But Kylie Rae returning to professional wrestling, and as I said, back in March, there was a report that said Kylie Rae is still under contract with Impact Wrestling, and she didn't leave under bad terms. I know she had some issues she had to deal with, and it looks like she's dealt with them, and she's defeated her demons, whatever they may be. And it's good to see Kylie Rae back. It will be good to see Kylie Rae back in the ring. I've always been a big Kylie Rae fan, but I want to see her back in Impact Wrestling. I searched the internet. It doesn't say anything about her no longer being under contract. The only reports that I see is that she's still under contract with Impact Wrestling. So I would like to see her back in Impact Wrestling if she is still, in fact, under contract with Impact Wrestling. And then again, maybe they released her from her contract. I don't know. I couldn't find anything on that. Nothing is confirmed. But maybe she's just gearing up for an Impact Wrestling return. Deonna Purrazzo versus Kylie Rae. We were supposed to get that match that we never got it, and I would like to see it. I would like to see Deonna Purrazzo and Kylie Rae go one-on-one in an Impact Wrestling ring for the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship. I know Deonna Purrazzo has a big match coming up against a Fabi Apache, and I forget the date on that. I think it's well, whatever the date is, but she got a big match coming up against Fabi Apache. I want to see Deonna Purrazzo have the big match coming up against Kylie Rae for that Impact Wrestling Knockouts Championship. Like I said, big fan of Kylie Rae. Glad that she's coming back to professional wrestling. It's going to be great to see her back in the ring. I want to applaud NWA for giving her an opportunity. But if she's still under contract with Impact Wrestling, I want to see her back in Impact Wrestling. I want to see her back. I like the match that we never got. We never got Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts title against Kylie Rae. And that's the match they're going to give us, in my opinion. I want to see that. I think it'll be a tremendous match. So hopefully, got my fingers crossed. Hopefully, Kylie Rae will be back in Impact Wrestling. And if she's not on the contract anymore, I hope we see her in NWA for quite some time. She could show up in Ring of Honor. I think she kind of burned her bridges with AEW, but never say never. Never say never. But maybe Impact Wrestling will re-sign her. But I'm sure wherever she ends up, I hope she's completely defeated her demons and or whatever issues that she was dealing with, and she has a long successful career in professional wrestling because she's super talented, and I think there's no doubt in my mind. Not that I think, I know that there's no doubt in my mind that Kylie Rae can and will have a very successful career as a professional wrestler. She's so super talented. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. I want to see Deonna Purrazzo defend the Impact Knockouts title against Kylie Rae. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So Mark Henry showed up at Double or Nothing, AEW Double or Nothing. Much as basically surprised the heck out of everybody when he showed up. And it was reported today by Fightful.com that he has signed a multi-year contract with AEW. So it says Mark Henry is officially All Elite. After making his debut at AEW Double or Nothing, AEW announced that Mark Henry has signed a multi-year deal with the promotion. Henry will not only be one of the commentators on AEW Rampage, which is their new show, which will be debuting soon, but he will also work in talent development as well. Which is great news for AEW. To get somebody with the experience and the in-ring knowledge as Mark Henry is just incredible. It's just incredible getting Mark Henry. He's really going to help the young guys out. And there's a lot of young talent on AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation. And he could definitely help them out with talent development. Great signing by AEW. Terrific signing. Well done, Tony Khan. And I know there's a lot of people out there saying, "Oh my God, they signed another old WWE guy. What's AEW doing? It's now WCW or WCW Light or were they TNA? Ha ha ha." No, they're not. Yeah, they may have signed the Big Show. I'm sorry, Paul White. I apologize. He's not the Big Show anymore. He's Paul White. They might have signed Christian Cage. They might have brought in Sting. They might have brought in Mark Henry. But that's fine. Those four guys can really help the young talent that AEW is also bringing in. I mean, people seem to forget they just signed Bear Country. They recently signed Lio Rush, who is a great talent, and I think it was Red Velvet that they recently signed, and I'm sure there are other young talented wrestlers that they signed recently. The names are escaping me right now, but they're not just bringing in the older guys. They're not just bringing in the more experienced guys that formerly worked for the WWE. They're also bringing in young indie talent that have the ability to make it in this world of professional wrestling. That's what AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation is all about. People need to pay attention to that instead of just saying, "Oh, they signed Mark Henry, another old WWE guy." Do you watch AEW Dark? Do you watch Dark Elevation? Do you see the young talent that's on there? Do you see all the young talent that they're grooming as possibly signing and bringing on to AEW Dynamite? Are you watching? Because they're doing a damn good job in looking for new talent. They're doing a much better job than Impact Wrestling. I don't want to not give it, but they're doing a much better job than Impact Wrestling in terms of looking for new talent. So I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Yeah, I don't want to compare the two, but well, I just did, but they're doing a great job. So let's not knock these older signings. These guys are going to help the younger guys. So for everyone to throw their hands up in the air and say, "Oh my God, Mark Henry. Who's next? Who are they going to sign next? The Undertaker? Who are they going to sign next? Bret Hart? Who are they going to sign next? If they sign Bret Hart and Bret Hart works in talent development, that'll be amazing. Bret Hart could really the knowledge that Bret Hart could pass along to young talent to be incredible. It would be incredible. So don't knock it. It's a smart move, good move by Tony Khan, good move by AEW and bringing in Mark Henry and with the new show AEW Rampage that's debuting. Mark Henry's going to be on commentary, so you have a big name on commentary that'll draw fans, and they'll be interested to see how Mark Henry is going to do on commentary. So it'll draw fans to watch AEW Rampage, which I'm definitely going to watch. I can't wait for AEW Rampage. Is another show coming from AEW. Great signing, multi-year deal. Good job. I absolutely love the signing. I love the signing of Paul White. I love the signing of Mark Henry. I love the signing of Sting, and I love the signing of Christian Cage. And I love that they're signing younger. They're signing younger talent as well that have the potential to be stars in the future. So great job all around by AEW. Let's stop knocking them. Let's stop knocking at these signings because they're very smart signings. They're very, very smart signings. Even Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho is just praising the signing of Mark Henry. Even Chris Jericho also could his in-ring knowledge could help the younger guys as well. But Chris Jericho is praising the signing of Mark Henry, basically saying that with his knowledge, as I just said, with that he's going to bring a wealth of knowledge, and he'll be able to help the younger talent in their development. So great signing all around. Good job, Tony Khan. That's all I gotta say. Good job, Tony Khan. So with that note, I'm gonna say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.